How cool would it be if it was like cheesy re-recorded versions of the songs, like I wanna brush my teeth all
Oh, that would be
night.
really, really funny.
Hey everyone, and
Sup,
welcome to
guys
Why Are You
and
Still
gals?
Here? The show where we talk about whatever we want, right? And Lucas,
Yo, yo,
why are we
yo.
still here today?
Oh, because Alan Wake's gonna be the greatest game of all time, the greatest game ever made for modern systems. It's gonna change the world, and because of this, it is only available digitally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yes.
as I start with this hyperbolic intro here, yeah, so this is like the first, possibly like mainstream AAA studio type game that's not getting a physical release. You get a lot of indie stuff. You get like special release things here and there that's on the marketplaces and like on Steam for sure. It's everywhere. I get that, but this is just starting it, man. This is
I still
the
think
beginning, and
that they're going to change their minds later on. It might take a little while, but I think they will.
I know it's been like this for a majority of the PS4 and Xbox gen and onward, where the CD just really either authenticates it or only has a few gigs of data because there's a fucking 40 gig patch that comes out day one.
CD.
Sorry, sorry, your 4K Blu-ray that's dual layered holds 100 gigs. My apologies. We just recorded the old man segment.
I know. I know. Would have been a great one for that. Where they're like, you got yourself a DVD there? And you're like, DVDs haven't been a thing for like 25 years, but sure. You're gonna put your James Bond CD in there and watch James Bond CD? It's like
Oh Jesus.
no, I hate you.
No, you don't.
Anyway, so
Continue.
yeah, so I do think that they're probably going to backpedal on it at some point because as we've looked at the statistics, there's still something like 40% of sales are physical, and that's a lot
Or
to get rid of
if
from
they
yourself.
if they don't do it, I can guarantee you within 6 months to a year, or if they double down on it, limited run will have some scalp to high heaven, bare bones, piece of shit version of the game. Like not even
If
like
they're allowed
special.
to do that, I mean, I don't know what the rules are
I don't know either, but I
for
could
all
just
that.
see it being something like in the zeitgeist of games. Because limited run, we
Possibly.
talked about them before and my issues with that company too,
Hmm.
but whatever.
I personally don't have an issue with them. They give you the option of having something physical that wasn't ever going to be. So
Yes.
obviously you're going to pay a premium for that. But this is different though. Like we live in a world where things traditionally, not everything, but if there are like specialized games, like I think of like the Five Nights at Freddy's VR game, like that came out digitally first and then it took about 6 months to finally get on physical. Like that's just the one example I
Didn't
could
that
think of
happen
to
with your
pull
Doctor
out.
Who game?
Yes. Yes. So that is something that happens, but again, they still release it eventually. This is the first time we've seen a company just go, yeah, no, we're not doing it. It's only going to be digital. And you know what? It's going to be $5 cheaper because of it or whatever. It was like
Mm-hmm.
$5 or $10 cheaper. Like who cares? Most people would pay so much more than that to get a physical copy. But yeah, so that's what started this whole idea here that obviously the future sucks. And I think it's going to be a disaster. So I hope it's not going to end up being something that all game companies start doing. But again, this sort of goes hand in hand with PlayStation PS5's whole, digital system and the fact that they're making it like obsolete, planned obsolescence or whatever, where there isn't even a physical drive in it from this point moving forward, right? But guess what? there's been a bit of an uprising. People are pissed, and Sony is getting the brunt of it. In fact, I was just at Best Buy yesterday, and I don't know if this has anything to do with it. I saw probably 100 PS5s stacked on top of each other, not
I've
being
never even seen
purchased.
more than like 5 of them at a
Yep.
time.
There was two in the like the actual display to buy, and then behind the counter there was probably 100 that were stacked like 3 deep and like, you know,
Hmm.
like 10 high. It was ridiculous. Um I might have a picture of it actually, not from this time, but from the previous time where I took a picture of it. But I think that there's got to be a connection there. People are not happy about it. They're purchasing the actual physical disc copies, and they're not going for this other version. But yeah, so whatever, that sucks. We'll see though. If every company starts doing this, then you know what? Maybe I'm not going to play video games anymore. And it sounds like such a stupid thing to say, but
Yeah, sounds like
I was
something my old
interested.
man self would say.
I was interested in Alan Wake too until I heard this news, and I'm like, what I say to you? I said, well, thank God, that's one less game I have to play now.
Hmm.
So the other big thing that happened besides Alan Wake 2
Hmm.
is honestly was the straw that broke the camel's back. And that was I went into a Best Buy the other day and I pulled out my rewards card, and they say the same thing they say every time. They're like, wow, old school card. And I'm like,
I don't
yes,
even have
ma'am.
my rewards card. The last one I remember having physically was the one I had in high school and then the beginning of college. I don't even know where that thing
Mm.
went.
They were like originally like real plastic cards
Yeah,
that
yeah,
were
yeah. That's
like
what I
made like
had.
a credit card. I used to have one of those too. And then they swapped them out for like the like thin, more, thin plastic
Mm.
that you could bend. And I actually have lost part of it because it does bend and break. So I lost like a quarter of it or whatever, but it's still the barcode's fine and they can scan it. And so he scanned it and he's like, oh, you have a $10 reward. Do you want to use it? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he's like, yeah, you're probably good using it anyway because you're not ever going to get another one. And I was like, say what? And he was like, oh yeah, our rewards program is it's done, it's gone, it's dead. And I
Yeah,
was like,
if you go into the app, it'll give you some spiel on there about getting their special like card or credit card or some
mm-hmm,
bullshit, but then you still
mm-hmm.
have that whatever because I still have $5 in my Best Buy account, and then there's points that are pending that are never going to get applied. So,
You're gonna
and
want
I
to
haven't.
use that $5 because eventually it's gonna go away. Yeah, so this guy tells me that the rewards program is dead, it's done, it's gone, and that the only way you can get points now is by getting a Best Buy credit card,
Yep,
and you'll get points like that.
that's fucking bullshit. I
And
don't want a line of credit on anything
I
that
won't even be
isn't.
accepted for it. So it's not even an option for me. And that's like such a kick in the teeth for somebody who's been loyal to Best Buy for years and years and years.
In
And what do I
between
get for it?
2020 and mostly 2020 and 2021, I was a super elite premium plus top tier Best Buy rewards member. If you
Yep,
remember that, how I had the bar filled for 2 straight years, we're spending over like a grand or
I did
two.
too. Ever since I got my MacBook.
Yep. So then I would have a couple big purchases because I was transitioning from a shitty Windows laptop to like my big ass gaming PC. And then I had to get the MacBook. And then that just completely took me down a rabbit hole of the ecosystem. Anyway, my
Yep.
point is I would get everything from like my family members from Best Buy. I would tell them, just give me the money. I'll buy it. I want the fucking rewards points. And I was getting
Yeah.
probably at least $15, $20 a month in like certificates. It was
And
great. It
that's
was phenomenal.
awesome.
And it was all the games, Blu-rays. It didn't do it on Apple stuff, but whatever. But like for my PC, my monitor, like the TVs I got from there, everything.
Yeah, this is awesome. I wouldn't get points that high, but I would get still points, every month, and it was wonderful. And now the only thing that keeps me going there are steel books. So all of this, all of this makes me yearn for the days of old, right? And not just places like Circuit City, but now we are living in a time where physical media is becoming more and more scarce. And I'll even take stupid physical media over what's going on right now. And what do I mean by that, Lucas?
A
Well,
DVD.
I will tell you what I mean by that. You remember those really shitty products that were so cool when we were younger that were called hit clips?
Of course, I have a very extensive history and personal connection with said hit clips.
Yes, yes. Hit clips
Developed my
in
love for Sugar Ray, Pink, and Smash Mouth all from hit clips.
one minute of every
Legitimately.
one of those
I
songs.
know. I loved
Um,
it.
so there's hit clips and there's video now, that
Yeah, I had
existed
a
around
video now.
that
I had the black and
time.
white one.
Yeah, that was the first one. And even though those died out in just a couple years, they only lived for like
Yeah.
a maximum of 3 years or whatever. It's something that I still have a little bit of nostalgia for. And I
Yeah.
don't really know why, because they were trash. They were absolutely trash. For people that don't know, hit clips were like these little tiny
They look
little
like chunky DS cartridges that were slightly transparent with a lanyard loop that
yes,
would connect to your
yes.
player.
And they'd have like a picture of Sugar
That
Ray
was
on it or whatever.
it was like a small album cover or like the single of whatever it was
Yeah.
from. So I mean, the quality of this fucking thing is literally below your like drive-through speaker. Honestly, remember Tooth Tunes, where you could put the toothbrush in your mouth and it would like play as you were
Yes.
yeah. I think that sounds better
I
in your
haven't even
mouth.
thought about that
There was one for Kiss.
forever.
They had I want to rock and roll all night on a fucking toothbrush.
It flows every day. Ah.
You're onto something here.
That would be really
And
good. It's
Kiss
like
would sell out in an instant. There's no way.
it's like Kids Bop or whatever,
That
where it's
is
just like really terrible
Kids Bop and Tooth
versions.
Tunes combined for a retro
Yes.
throwback.
Yes. So yeah, they were these little chunky things that you loaded into a player and it would play 1 minute, 60 seconds of that song. And I don't even think it started at the beginning. I think it was just a
No. And
random
then
60-second
like
chunk of the
I
song.
never knew this until one of my friends, like we were listening to like both of our head clips together, and then like her version of When It's Over had like the second or third verse on it, and mine had the first verse. So I'm like, what? There's variance?
So
And it
you
was
like
so weird.
play that one and then quickly play the other one.
So
And you're like, we almost got the whole
because
song.
at the time I would like learn of some new artists through hit clips and then go to like LimeWire or Kazaa or Napster and then download the full version. So I would just get used to the like hit clips version. Like that was its own thing. So when you would hear
Yeah.
when you hear a variant in the wild, it'd be crazy. So yeah,
And
those were the
the whole
days.
thing of it, which that makes sense with what you just said there, with the fact that it was all about like you buy as many of them as possible and then you trade them like Pokemon cards with other
Yeah.
people and stuff. And like the commercials, the kids look like they're having so much damn fun. And that was the same for, the video now too, which
I
was like,
remember, oh my God, I had a couple of them. I had two, I can't remember the specifics of those ones, but I had like an industrial size one that was like bigger with like I think it had like a carabiner type clip on it, and it was the water resistant version, and I
oh,
believe it came with Smash Mouth Pacific Coast Party as the song with it, because it's like, oh, it's
okay.
fun in the pool, which Pacific Coast
Oh,
Party
that's
actually
funny.
bumps. That's a good song.
I have no idea. I can't even tell you what that song is. If I heard it, maybe I would know.
I've been a staunch defender of Smash Mouth. Like if Shrek didn't taint them, like they're actually fucking in the 90s, they're really good.
Somebody once told me the world was gonna wrong.
And then he was like,
Whatever.
he was drunk on stage, like doing All Star, like freaking out on people, and like being a real ass. Like he's an idiot.
For you little pussy bitches out there that go fuck yourselves.
The lead singer
Like
of
the lead
Smash Mouth.
singer.
Yeah. There's
That's
this
the
one
last thing
album
he
they
should be
have
doing.
called Astro Lounge. God, it's so good. It's so damn good. That's all I have to say. So what else are you saying about hip clips?
I don't know, they sucked, but I would take those over what's happening now with physical media disappearing, because we lived in a time where physical
mean-
media was so present that stupid things were physical media. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, I
And
see
that goes
what you're
along.
saying with this then.
That
The
goes
like weird
along
formats, proprietary
weird,
formats.
yeah, like not even just
Yeah.
the normal formats, but stupid formats that don't, exactly like you said, proprietary. Like I would take that, even though that was so weird and annoying at the time. I would take that over what's going on now, where they're trying to just get rid of everything.
I mean, I really miss CDs. I'm glad that vinyl has
I
its
miss
comeback.
CDs too.
I understand analog, sure, but I really do miss CDs. It's just been something I've
Yeah.
been like kind of itching for recently. I do
mean,
love
they still
Apple Music though,
exist.
but
You can still purchase them.
my car doesn't have a CD player,
Oh, well, that's your problem.
so I'm just gonna have to do the old boombox style, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Or just get like a old CD player that connects into an auxiliary.
Oh my God, I'll get the
Or
Walkman going with 30 minutes of skip
yeah,
protection.
yeah. That would be great. But yeah, so there was also, like I mentioned, the Video Now, which had its own, again, great word, proprietary discs that came with it that held 3 20-minute episodes of a show.
And then I mean the
And
quality
it was
was
like,
the quality and resolution, and it's in black and white. It's so small. I can only imagine that like the video file is less than a gigabyte. It's probably like 300 megabytes.
it was much less than that. There was a video I watched where a guy actually, he was talking about Video Now and
Yeah.
hit clips and all of that, and he actually took both the black and white ones and the colored ones and put them into a computer, like 100 megabytes for one of the entire disk files.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then the colored one was a little bit more at like 200 or 300 megabytes, but whatever. So I yearn for the days of old, and I the future sucks. Let's be honest,
Yeah.
the future sucks, and that's really it. So if you're watching this episode, if you managed to make it this far, let us know. Comment below. Let us know, what do you think about this? Are you okay with this? Are you just as annoyed as we are? Are you just sort of like, I don't care? Let us know down below in the comments. We'll have a conversation about it. And yeah, so
Thanks everybody. Hold on to your physical media.
definitely hold on to it, unless you could sell it now for like a really high profit.
It's gonna be worth something. So thanks
otherwise,
everybody.
yeah. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you later.
Bye everybody.